What ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Washington Redskins. With that, we'll get up to FedEx Field for the Washington home opener. Standing by, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Green Bay Packers and the Washington Redskins. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They go play action here on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Frank Clark. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now Thompson, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. It's complete to Golden Tate. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
Oh, I nearly broke that one. As it stands, though, a heck of a 36-yard run back. And the Packers will have a short field to work with here as they take over 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on it at 2nd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have the back on their heels.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Packers. Equanimous St. Brown, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Packers have taken the early lead. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now first quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they scored in opening weekend are going to hold up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we've got to really be ready on defense because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
You think they can keep piling on the points like this?
I think they can if they're prepared to adjust and adapt because they won't see the same defenses week in and week out.
First carry for Darius Geis, and he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Kevin King coming up from the secondary to make the play. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. Caught right side, Tate. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And they get 14 yards there at a first down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better. It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
This one complete to Jordan Reed. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A huge play there for Washington. And even 40 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Now Roethlisberger, and this one complete to Reed. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. A look at the numbers from a week ago for Reed. 3 catches, 58 yards, and a score.
And you can tell early, they're going to look his way quite a bit, and he made himself available on that one.
On second down, Roethlisberger. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. Roethlisberger now to throw on third down. Jordan Reed has it. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 3 catches now this afternoon, the same number he had all of last week. Also, it's a first down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that second down is the time you go play action and throw the ball.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. Paul Richardson, his first touchdown of the new season. Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. Hopkins with the extra point, and we are tied at 7. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told, and it was polished off by a Redskin touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now the Packers get set to go. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense getting the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 26. Oh, some strong running. And a big return will get him all the way down to the 35. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. Well, these guys hardly got a chance to catch their breath after the quick turnover, but I doubt they're complaining much.
Especially with the field position they get to start with. I wouldn't be complaining either. I'd want to get right back out there and get after them because now you have an opportunity to make a big play. I I'd say let's be aggressive and go after him.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. Now Ben hit, and he lost the football. It's loose. And this is going to be Packer football.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
What I loved about meeting with these coaches before the game is we didn't even have to ask any questions. They told us that they were going to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. They weren't successful on that play, but look for them to try it again later.
Off the play fake. Boyle, he's going to float this one deep right side. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
Well, you got a receiver here who's got one touchdown already in this first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage to make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
And the third down pass falls incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hodges. And now this is going to be close. The defense says they stopped him, and they did. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Well, that, my friend, I guess is the definition of a head-scratcher. 4th and long, this stage of the game. What were they doing?
I just have to believe that he looked at the situation, still in the first half, decided if there's a time to be aggressive, now was it, because
blitz coming, and down he goes. And that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a third down and long. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Looking for Tate, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. Keep in mind, he had the 3-interception game last week, so we requested to talk with him this week. He's still all smile. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. Off-play action. Boyle. Open man right side is St. Brown. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Well, a big play like that looks familiar, doesn't it? Like we saw it a week ago, reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Nothing wrong with being explosive. Nothing wrong with being electric. Nothing wrong with carrying it over from the previous week after a really, really hot start.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Fans do love the long ball, don't they? And he already found his guy once. tried to give him another chance there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Couldn't connect, but as you alluded to, he does have that touchdown from earlier, trying to keep him in the rhythm. Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. Strong coverage by Washington, and now fourth down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Now on fourth down, they throw the deep ball, but it winds up to be incomplete. So they've gone for it twice now on fourth down of this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a third situation, the head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
A quick hitter complete. It's Tate, and he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. Call it a gain of 6 on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Ross on the return. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go-around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Well, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. And that will fall incomplete. Oh, they took a shot there on what will turn out to be. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. Off the play fake. Boyle. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Equanimous St. Brown, his 2nd TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Packers are able to cash in for 6. And it's up and good. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Time for our first check of the NFL scoreboard. And the Ravens have opened it up a bit, leading by a couple of scores. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game. Well, I guess we just discovered that someone is certainly not going to sit back and just take it in this game, huh?
No, they were trying to get that touchdown back in one shot.
One shot, trying to help out his defense and let the other team know they were coming after him.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
And at this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Over 70 yards receiving now for him in this first half alone, as he's got a first down on that last catch.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
On the ground, it's Thompson. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
From the gun on third down, it's Roethlisberger. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, fourth down.
And based on my math, they've only converted one time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. Third downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. We get a look at Equinemius St. Brown as he and the rest of the crew march out onto the field, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
He'll rifle this, and that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Packers. Equinemius St. Brown on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Packers are able to strike quickly for 6. Extra point good by Catanzaro. So not only is that his third touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down, because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches. And being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game, it's going to take a lot of effort. So maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out, and soon. Thompson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Now Ben on third and long. Caught on the right side, Reed. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Starting to rack up the yardage here in this first half. 5 catches now and a first down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Set! Black 80!
From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Josh Dotson's got it complete. Josh Dotson. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Josh Josh Doctson, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Redskins are able to make this a close game again. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Extra point good by Hopkins. And they're back within a touchdown at 21-14. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And the result, a touchdown for Washington. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. There he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field.
And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
It's a big play that time for the Packers. 57 yards. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however.
Offense.
Let's see what that's about. Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Off-play action. Boyle. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Into the Redskins. How did they do? So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Following the fumble recovery, it's Roethlisberger. Out to the left here to Reed. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
They run it here with Thompson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Not to think about.
This is intercepted. Picked off at the 28. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well.
And he fires one that's intercepted. And it's Clinton Dix with a pick. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
The good old cover 3 defense, partner. When you start playing football as a safety, that's the first thing you're taught. Middle of the field, be as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, and break on the football when it's thrown and pick it off, just as we saw there.
After the interception, here's Roethlisberger. Doctson with a grab over the middle. 20, 10, touchdown, Washington. Josh Doctson, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Redskins are an extra point away from tying this thing up.
These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today is track shoes. That's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far, and fun to watch. The Packers offense now. They get ready to head back onto the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. They go play action here on 1st down. Touchdown, Packers. Equanimous St. Brown on his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Packers have moved out in front. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
He had a great read there from his free safety position. And, Charles, you know with those guys, it's all about their eyes. They have to be laser-focused.
Yeah, I had to fake my way through it when I was playing, but now I can see exactly what they're doing. And on that play, he obviously had no presence to feel like he's being pushed for a pass. And without that, that allowed him to get up to the line of scrimmage and hold him to no gain.
That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The Redskins on 3rd down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This will be 3rd and 5. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he drops this off to Thompson, complete. And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line.
Focus.
So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. Back to FedEx Field following this short break.
Set. 180. Back and turn.
On 2nd down, here's Roethlisberger. And he will find his man on the outside. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Here's Roethlisberger. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. We get a look at Equanimous St. Brown as he and the rest of the crew march out onto the field. He might be on his way to a record-setting performance. So good here. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And it's so interesting when we watch these types of days unfold for a receiver because they need a quarterback throwing it accurately, people to block for the quarterback, so many other variables. But, boy, he's getting it done and in a big way. Right now, He wants to rock them.
And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way down to the 26. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 54 yards. Now a play fake here on first down. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. The wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now second down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Forced out to his left. The improv act there, good for 9. And now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short. 3rd and 1. Off the play fake. Boyle. And that is incomplete. Quentin Dunbar right there on the coverage.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And no field goal try here from the red zone offense out there. They'll go for it on 4th. They'll run for it with Barkley. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. It's 1st and goal after they rip off a solid chunk of yardage in the ground game on a risky 4th down call.
This is a question of who wants it more. Easy to get stuck behind all the big bodies, but you've got to find a space and fight forward for the first down.
Looking to throw. Boyle. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Back to throw. Boyle. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Now Chandler Catanzaro for the field goal here. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And that will extend their lead even further. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
9 seconds to play. Likely the final snap of the first half as it's 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Set.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter.
Hey, 4 down. Set. White 80.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Now here's Ross. So we've reached halftime in an abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. Returning it, John Ross. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. We get a look at Equinemius St. Brown as he and the rest of the crew march out onto the field. A monster game so far, third quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times when you see these types of games, you hear about the quarterback, or we talk about the quarterback throwing guys open, putting it in the right spot. How about some credit for the receivers?
And this will be caught at the 30. It's a big play that time for the Packers. 45 yards.
No, check, Patriot!
Off play action. Boyle, he'll rifle this one deep right side. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by DJ Swearinger. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. And Big Ben intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 40. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. Both defenses have had their struggles, but they've been good enough to get them this lead, and another nice play there to help preserve the lead.
It's been a game of punch-counter-punch, hasn't it? All throughout. But this time, the big swing was taken, and it didn't land. Nice play by them on defense.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
Back 99 Philly, here we go!
Off the play fake. Boyle, he's going to float this one deep right side. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the linebacker, Zach Brown. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
They start on the ground with Geis. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. 9 yards on the pickup there as he'll be left with 3rd and 1.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. A first carry for Samaje Perine. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are...
He's got a man complete. And all the way down to the 42. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 57 yards.
Gone! Back 99 Philly, here we go!
Off play action. Boyle, he's going to float this one deep right side. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at 2nd down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Off the play fake. Boyle. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position. Couldn't hold on. 3rd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Pernell McPhee in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long. Why are you calling play action?
Because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play action sack. They're going to try and throw. He'll buy some time right. Going deep downfield for Ross. And this is going to be incomplete. A surprising move to go for it. And predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Redskins will take control of the football in great field position. On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. The 1st-round pick, Jair Alexander, making the tackle.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
There's several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. Off play action. Boyle. He's going to let it go again. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Boyle looking downfield for Godwin. That's caught at the 25. And he's a long ways into Washington territory before hitting the turf. It's a big play that time for the Packers. 45 yards. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Being chased out left. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Play action. Boyle. He's going to be sacked. Back at the 23-yard line. Matt Ioannidis in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
Enough takes to start you have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
The Packers on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Looking to throw. Boyle escaping the pressure right. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball, and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. On 4th down, Boyle. And my goodness, this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Redskins defense going to take over on the turnover on downs. So a tough pill to swallow there. A would-be touchdown pass in and out of his hands on 4th.
Sometimes it just comes down to execution, doesn't it? Because we're always questioning, should they go for it, should they not? Is it
rush coming, and he's taken down. Kenny Clark in there to record another sack, their 6th of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And they'll go on the ground. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually...
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Kevin King with a pick, and they're going to be set up in the red zone at the 15. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Off the play fake. Boyle. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Equanimous St. Brown, his 21st touchdown of the season. And his guys capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Redskins offense, they get set to go back to work here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Set. Like 80.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped.
That's caught inside the 20. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Equanimous St. Brown. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And that interception key as it leads to the touchdown. And that, boys and girls, is an NFL record. 6th touchdown reception. The record has stood since 1950. What a game.
How about that? Because so many things have to go right in order for it to happen. Not just him catching the passes. Someone delivering it accurately. Offensive line giving them time to throw the ball. A true team record. But he stands above it because he was on the receiving end of so many great plays.
It's P-Ryan to begin the drive. Some fancy footwork, but not much room to operate. Just up past the 25 and no further. Tackle made there by Frank Clark.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Malik Jefferson in there on the stop.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And now here's another interception. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing?
This is caught at the 20. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 49 yards. From the gun, Boyle. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Back to throw. Boyle. And he rifles one incomplete. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guy, a big play to start the drive, got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal. Looking to throw. Boyle. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Equanimous St. Brown with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Packers continue to roll. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Now Roethlisberger to throw on 2nd down. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Daniil Hunter in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
he wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because...
And got his man complete. And some room to maneuver. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Equanimous St. Brown with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Packers are pouring it on. And he puts it through. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
Now Roethlisberger. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that. But it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter. It's a good running back dive play.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. And the trick play doesn't work. Good reaction there defensively, and it'll be fourth down. This is brought in at the 21. Avoids him at the 40. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams. Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from their first one and blew out the Seahawks. I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Back to throw. Boyle. Man open. It's St. Brown. He's got it. 27 yards. A big play there on fourth. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Off play action. Boyle. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks. You could...
Touchdown, Packers! As his guys are in for 6, and the Packers continue to roll.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know they're playing people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. The Redskins offense now. They head back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm.
And my goodness, another interception. He's picked off at his own 47, and they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Off the play fake. Boyle. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case,
there he goes right side. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Equanimous St. Brown, his 25th touchdown. Tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And that interception key as it leads to the touchdown.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
She's singing too.
Oh, she's
on like the 5th tune at this point.
she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
4 down.
Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Caught right side, Tate. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Hey. Side. Black 80. Black, what's that?
Now Roethlisberger on 1st down. And now here's another interception. Kevin King with a pick, and he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So they just got the football on an interception. They almost gave it right back the same way.
And, you know, when you look over to the bench after that type of a play, number one is pure relief. Didn't get...
That's caught inside the 20. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Equanimous St. Brown, his 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season. And that interception key as it leads to the touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something
Heads up.
to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Off the play fake. Here's Roethlisberger. Fighting through. And Ben goes down in the end zone, and that'll be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, start the bus, because they think this one is over.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the fourth quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got it.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Equanimous St. Brown finding the end zone yet again. And the Packers are pouring it on.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right?
No.
I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here come the Redskins now. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But, boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Roethlisberger. He completes it to Tate. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Second down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a third and a couple remaining. Here's Roethlisberger. And Tate's got it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And a quick slant gets exactly 10, and by the nose of the football, they've got a first down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now Roethlisberger to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Richardson. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you're talking about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. The first down screen pass, good for 5.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Now Roethlisberger. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
False start, offense.
And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
Now it's Roethlisberger. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Again, it's Roethlisberger. to the left. It's complete to Daxon. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down. To throw again is Roethlisberger. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
For a rookie first-rounder, he's made a huge impact on this defense, but that tells me that they had a plan for him when they drafted him. Just turn him loose, do what you do best, go get the quarterback.
Here we go. It's Roethlisberger on fourth down. And it is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
That one looks like he'll throw here. He'll rifle this one deep. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way down to the 9. It's a big play that time for the Packers. 46 yards. Now a play fake here on first down. And give them another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
On second down, here's Roethlisberger. But he can't hang on. He had a good shot there for his third pick of the game. Instead, it's third down.
Well, an incomplete pass certainly doesn't look like a good play. For the guy throwing it today, as many interceptions he's thrown, he's got to feel a sigh of relief that the ball actually hit the ground and didn't go in the other direction.
And he comes back with one complete. And they'll get 14 yards out of it and a fresh set of downs. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive...
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off near the 44. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this two-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. Give him 30 yards there.
And they just hit another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people...
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with this one. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners
who
had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he's going to go down as time is now...